Everybody's probably wondering why we got these headphones on. We got a special guest in the building, y'all. Let me introduce y'all to Tina Taylor Brown. Say what up, girl.
Say that 3 times
What's
fast.
up, everybody? I'm so happy to be on here with you, Coach, and Dr. Hunt.
You know what? We ain't going to go with the Dr. Hunt thing. Come on, man.
That I affectionately call Lay. So if y'all hear me just say Lay, then you know who I'm talking about.
Right.
That's it.
Not me.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Sipping on Excellence.
That is what
I
we
am Dr. Lionel Hunt, and I'm always here with my man, my dude, my motherfucker.
I am Coach KJ.
Life coach Kennedy Johnson.
That is what I do.
As always, we're coming at you every week or every other week.
Right.
That we started doing every other week. Shooting the shit, talking about life, bringing you, hopefully, hope, gems, and
hopefully those conversations that you are not having that you need to start having.
As I always say,
Get it started.
We like to say the quiet parts out loud. On that note, everybody's probably wondering why we got these headphones on. We got a special guest in the building, y'all. Let me introduce y'all to Tina Taylor Brown. Say what up, girl.
Say that 3 times
What's
fast.
up, everybody? I'm so happy to be on here with you, Coach, and Dr. Hunt.
You know what? We ain't going to go with the Dr. Hunt thing. Come on, man.
That I affectionately call Lay. So if y'all hear me just say Lay, then you know who I'm talking about.
Right.
That's it.
Not me.
I'm going to leave you at Coach.
So
I'll take that.
You know, I'm going to give you guys a little background. Tina, God, I was thinking about it today, Tina.
Mm-hmm.
I've known you. We met in 1999.
Yeah.
That's crazy, huh? Tina knew me when I wasn't shit.
He still ain't.
I really wasn't shit then.
You were smart as shit, though.
Oh, my God.
You're on your way.
Now, Tina, how'd y'all come about?
So let me just share with you guys. I hate to tell you, but the technical difficulty is that sometimes I can't hear the first few words of your sentences.
Okay.
So go slow between the interactions, because I know this is new. We're trying to do me from satellite in the A. I'm in Atlanta, everybody, and so I wasn't expecting to have a super good setup. So I think we got just a little bit of a delay. So go a little slower between your interactions so that I can hear what you're saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Now, what'd you say?
How did you two come about meeting?
We came about meeting because of one of my best friends, Cindy, right? Cindy's the one that introduced Landale. She had like a little crush on Landale, so I just throw that out there.
Funny thing is, I didn't know about that till later.
Right. Listen, Landale was fine then. He fine now. He was young. He was like a young Doogie Howser. So we used to be like, oh, look at cute little Landale, because at that time I'm married, I got a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and here he was just.
I was an intern.
Yeah, he was doing his medical journey those early years, and we always knew that he and Gino were going to be like superstars just because of who they were, how they rolled, how they were raised. I don't mess around with just anybody, so I'm gonna tell you now. He was like, the minute we met, I was like, yo, this is going to be my dog right here for sure.
Okay.
And he has been all this. Coach, when you probably started training him, it's just like that. You don't meet Landale and then not want to freaking be down with him like you don't. But everybody can't get down. But
right.
you should want to.
Right.
But I tell you, Tina, this is a good example of, people always say men and women can't be friends. Mm-hmm. This is the perfect example of how that is not true.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, I can tell you when I left Atlanta and Tina came to LA, I mean, before I was on my journey to San Francisco, I slept on her floor in her apartment for a week, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it just,
wow.
That's how tight we are.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can go years without seeing somebody, but you know, I tell you, when you pick up the phone and call somebody, there's 3 people that will answer that call. Somebody who you owe money to. They'll see your phone. They'll pick up that phone call. Yeah, what's up? You got my money?
Right.
Somebody that needs something from you, mm-hmm. and a real friend. A real friend, your family sometimes won't answer. A real friend is somebody that will pick up the phone every time they see that phone ring if it's in their hand. Tina, no matter where she is in the world, if I call her, she's going to answer that phone. Mm-hmm. She may talk shit to me, but she's going to answer that phone.
And listen, Lionel would answer the phone too. He'd be like, "Hey, I'm scrubbing up." I'm like, "What the fuck are you answering the phone for?" But he's like, "Cause you don't call like all the time. So when you do call, I know I need to answer the phone." I was like, "You know what? I'm calling on some bullshit. So go ahead and save somebody's life, do your miracle work, and everything I'm talking about can wait." So, but no, I do appreciate it 1,000%, and I even appreciate you invited me on to give my little take, because honestly, me and Leg can talk for hours about everything that you guys are doing in the podcast, which I do want to just formally say to every listener of this podcast, if this is your first time listening, I don't know, go back to the last one, okay, with the 10 questions. And then I just want to give a big fuck you to you and Coach. Because
what we do?
Listen, that podcast, that shit sent me over the edge in the best way. But I literally had a come to Jesus. I mean, like a lay in the backyard with a towel. I just needed to be like outside with God, away from my house. I laid the towel down. I bought a box of tissues, and I just wailed in the backyard. Because, and Lay knows, I got, I'm a widow of 2 years. We went through a cancer walk. Some shit popped off at the end of life, which it always does. Right. That you are always devastated, And man, I thought I was really doing good these past 2 years. And then I only had 8 minutes left of the podcast, and I bit the dust. And so
tell them what you heard.
Well, all the questions are great, because I think I sent y'all those questions, and I thought that they were poignant. And I thought that if you could, consciously ask yourself these questions weekly, at least, if not daily, then you would actually be on the right track of your own truth, and then doing what you needed to change. But there was a little excerpt that Lionel threw in there, and it was to you, Coach, when he said to you, "Are you making life happen, or are you letting life happen to you?" Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh shit, I think I have been letting life happen to me. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't remember did I ever want kids? Did I ever want to get married? Did I ever want to live in Atlanta?
Wow.
I felt like, my shit went bananas, right? And I just started to take a whole and that was really because of, where I am in my healing journey too. And where I have to go, because now my whole life is different. Everything's different. My kids, my husband's gone. Everybody else in my family, like in my immediate family's gone too. No mom, no dad, no brother, no nothing. So I'm the matriarch and the last Mohican. And so, but my kids are older. It's just me. I'm single. This is all new. I'm back to the breadwinner. And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I literally don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know where I want. Half the time I'm in Portugal, half the time and I'm in Atlanta, but I'm not even there when I want to. I'm always there, subjected to whatever I got to do. And so I just kept feeling like life was happening to me instead of me making it happen. So I was like, yo. And I said, Leonel, I lit into him with I was like,
yeah, I heard.
yeah. And I'm going to say this was the most poignant revelation. I felt so deeply, and I was so into that question and what it was bringing about in my life, in my spirit, in my consciousness, that I was so sad. I was so lonely. I was so deep. I was so just lost that it felt like everybody I knew died. But what I realized, it was me who died. The old me needed to die. I need a new me. And so it was like a funeral for myself. And I'm the only motherfucker at the funeral. And I'm the only one crying. And I'm the only one in the casket at the same time. It was like a one-woman show funeral. I was like, oh my God, I can't take this.
What's interesting is that Coach says something all the time. And he always says, you should die to yourself every day.
Die a little to yourself every day. I literally said that this past weekend because it was our anniversary. And we did this little, so what did you learn after, 12 years of marriage? And she said whatever she said. And I questioned, I was like, are you sure? And then she said, well, what did you learn? I said, I learned you have to die a little to yourself every day. A little to yourself.
What do you mean by that exactly?
That's an old black saying in the church. They always say you got to die a little to yourself every day. In other words, you got to kill off a little bit of the old you to allow the new you to prosper, to grow, to manifest.
I probably should have taken that in steps instead of all one fell swoop.
Well, right. Well, the thing is, you can't pour into a full cup.
Sure.
Right.
And when you come across people in your life that are trying to pour into you, if your cup is full of bullshit, you can't pour into it.
Right.
So you got to dump out some of the bullshit in order for that cup to start filling again. And it's not going to fill all at once, but you got to get rid of some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You got to purge. And unfortunately, traumatic experiences, health journeys, things like that. They, like someone said, when you have your health, you have 9,000 problems. When you don't have your health, you only have one problem.
Very true.
And so, that changes everything. And then you just can't even roll the same way. You can't think the same way. You can't pray the same way. You can't cope the same way. And so, and you can't live or think or operate the same way, And so that was really it. I had to realize that I was still mom, I was still like everything to everybody. And I hadn't really started to be that to myself.
Well, the thing
and
is,
so with all this heaviness, I'm going to show y'all. I don't know if y'all can really see this, but so I'm getting ready to have a drink. But can you see that this is a rose?
Oh, you fancy.
Oh, yeah. I just want to let y'all know.
Oh, you fancy.
You got a rosy drink.
Oh,
I'm going to break out my little Callan.
You going with the big boy. Okay.
I'm going to go with the big boy stuff. So y'all were drinking water, but I'm just going to have to one up it.
Oh, no. I need
already got a pillow.
I need you to get loose.
And it would just be looser.
Right. One thing, and then we'll get to the topic that you picked or that we're going to pick together. Realize that your reaction to that making life versus letting life happen, your reaction is what more people need. Most people, I'm going to tell you, the majority of people are just letting life happen to them.
Yeah.
Most people aren't making life happen.
Do you remember when we first started saying that a lot? That old guy at the park.
Yes.
That's when it really, really hit you. There was an old guy that used to come to the park. This guy just turned 100. He'd come on his little walker just to, keep his gait straight, sit down, take his hat, put it back, And just let it sit aside.
He would literally walk into the middle of the park, sit in the grass on his stool, on the little walker, turn around, sit down, take his hat back, and just let the sun hit his face. 100 years old. Every week we were there, he'd be sitting right there. Not talking to anybody, not doing a thing.
And the first thing he said was, what do you think? Do you think he let life happen? Or he's making life happen for him?
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it sits with you. And a lot of times, I'll tell you, a lot of times it takes something to kick you in the ass or punch you in the gut to say, you know what? Oh, shit. I'm just going through life and just letting it happen as it comes instead of driving that ship the direction I want it to go. Now, the winds are going to blow left, right, whatever, but you still have the rudder control. You can still guide it through that storm instead of just letting the storm blow you wherever the hell it wants to go. So that response that you had, I guarantee you more people, if they sat in it, would have that response and come out on the other side ready to take on the world.
Yeah, that was what you told me too. You were like, sit in it.
Feel it.
I was like, sit. I fell. I'm all in the bottom. I'm all jacked up.
Yeah.
I was down in it. I really was. It was good, though. It was perfect. It was exactly what I needed. And I was just so grateful. So, I mean, what you guys are doing every week, whether it's every week or every other week, is poignant, you know. And then you really get, I mean, I was loving the little tidbits I got from you guys, too, you know, which was, you know, just like, and that's what I told Leigh. I was like, I got to go back because there were all kind of little nuggets of information that made you want to think, and then just thinking about how you perceive the different questions, you know, even the first one about like if you could redo the
1,000 days,
account for the last 1,000 days. And then it's like, yeah, well, Leigh had a point. Like you shouldn't be doing the same thing every 1,000 days, but that was his interpretation of it versus what yours was, which I was more with you, Coach, until I listened to Leigh. And then I was like, oh, now that one makes sense, you know, like, so you could really see it two ways, but I had originally thought like what you said, which is like, all right, you know, I at least have to meet my 1,000 days before. They always say like, you got to be better than you were yesterday. Right. And so at least if you can meet that, but honestly, it's better than and not just like that makes it or worse, you know? So for sure.
Well, like I said, the whole point of this is to get people to think. And the main reason for bringing you on today was to get a different perspective from the two of us, from somebody who has done a lot in her life in a very short period of time, who's seen the world, who's, you know, done one of the hardest things I can think of, even harder than what I do every day, which is stand on a stage and make people laugh. That's got to be the hardest thing I can think of to do, because
now I'm gonna go with that spine surgery on that one, but go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you why. What I do can be taught. What you do, being able to stand on stage and make people laugh, either you got it or you don't. You know, and that to me is huge. I could never. I mean, we laugh on certain things because it's funny, but to stand up there and be like, I got a whole crowd of people. I mean, I've seen you on stage, and even knowing you and how funny you are as a person and how intelligent you are, I was dying laughing in the crowd because I was seeing sides of you I'd never seen.
I know I am stupid. I love it. And I can't turn it off. It's like an idiot savant thing. Like it just follows me everywhere. It involves itself everywhere. Even in tragedy, it's like, I can find some shit funny, but I'll tell you this, vulnerability is funny. Honesty is funny.
Absolutely.
Truth is funny. And so people don't even know that they're funny when they are just being authentically themselves and, you know, being honest and truthful, because you just can't beat that. You know, you can't beat it with a stick. So a lot of the best storytellers ever and the best comics were the ones who were the most vulnerable, who would allow themselves to give of themselves while they were on stage. They just weren't joke tellers. So there's a comedians and then there's comics, you know? Right. So, so for me, it's a little bit different. And I live my life like this all the time. Everybody be like, well, are you going to write another set? Yeah, I write fresh. Every week I got something new. What are you talking about? I never run out of
it's
material.
Like that. As long as you living, you got something funny to say.
You can't have a conversation with Tina and not laugh at some point.
Even when I'm talking about the worst moments of my life, like when I called Leonel about, what popped off with my husband when he died and what I found out. He was rolling.
She was serious, but I'm trying not to laugh.
Can you believe this shit right here, dude? Listen to this. And he was like, Tina, oh my God, I'm not trying to laugh at you. I was like, nah, dude, this shit is funny. This is outrageous. But, and that brings up like one of my topics, like what I feel now that, and I think I said this to you, Lay, like, I don't know if people really think about this, or does it even matter, or should we? We have marriage and we have this monogamy and we choose that, but then what? I don't even know the percentages. What would y'all say the percentages of people actually maintaining that monogamy through their, let's say 20, 30 years? What would you say?
You mean maintaining monogamy or stay married?
Maintain the monogamy. Like, I'm just with you, you just with me. We not cheating. Neither one of us.
People who are, well, then you have to decide on what is considered cheating.
Okay, who's fucking somebody? Are you fucking somebody else or you not? Like,
right, but see, that's your definition. Some people may think if I'm having an inappropriate conversation with somebody, that's cheating. So that's why. I mean,
well, there's gateway drugs, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So weed is legal.
Right, got it. So are you smashing somebody other than me is what you're saying. And those numbers will never be correct, those percentages, because nobody will ever be truly honest about it.
Yeah, but what would you say if you were just throwing it out on your general? Like, what would either of you say?
The studies have shown that women cheat more than men. Men get caught more than women because men are kind of stupid and women are calculating. Women are very calculating and smart in that respect.
And men typically only see what they see.
Exactly.
And you guys are tad bit careless. You're just a tad bit careless.
Well, the thing is, we seem to be more careless because you guys notice everything. You guys notice patterns. You guys notice everything.
Your eyebrows could be off. I'd be like, did you twitch your eyebrow up? I mean, I know.
but it's true. You normally twitch the left one, and today the right one's twitching. What's going on with you?
Yeah. Right. Okay, forget the studies. What do you got?
What do I think? I think if you're married for 40 years, let's just say you're married for 40 years.
Let's just do 20. Let's do something that's more around the range of where we would be and probably your listeners are, in the sense of even if they were in their 20s and they're dating someone or in their 30s and maybe got 5 or 7 years in, just let's put it between 20 and 25 years.
I think that number is going to be fairly high for those who have either cheated or have thought about it. Like have tried, not just thought about it, but have actually.
The act. Let's go with the act.
I think the number's fairly high. I just don't know what that number would be.
It just again made me think of Gerard Carmichael when he said, "When you make under $50,000 a year, he ain't thinking about cheating. But if he make over 100, he thinking about it. If he make in the hundreds to 500,000." Oh, he got a side piece.
If you're making $1 million, your side piece and your woman are going out together.
They
know each other. They're going to get their nails done together.
Listen, y'all funny. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all funny.
Man.
What's your number?
I think that I don't know that I put a number. I think it's high though. I think it's fairly high.
High in the
20
90s?
years. No. I'd say conservatively.
I say
45. greater than 50%.
I say 40, 45.
Man, that's low.
Well, I think also you're looking
That's
through
really
it.
low.
You're looking through it through different lenses.
Right. I'm giving the full lens. The idea of inappropriate conversations, actually to smash and dash, to having full on relationships.
I think at least a one-time smash is greater than 50%.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's even greater than that, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying I think it is more like in the 80s.
Wow.
Shit, I wasn't gonna go that high, but
really
it's
do.
possible.
I really do. I think that it's highly likely that at some point someone has cheated and or not, maybe once at one period and then it was like, no, I can't do this. And then maybe again at another period, And so I was thinking like, seriously, I really was thinking this after, I found out about some of my husband's infidelities. And this is the first time I've ever said that, like live in public in effect. But the thing is that I was completely faithful, 1,000%. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't want to necessarily go back and change any part of that in my life. But then when I thought for a second, like, I just want y'all to encompass this because this is where this grabs me. We met in 1991 is when we started dating. He died in 2022. So 30 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I was a widow for 2 and I hadn't, I just kissed somebody maybe like 3 weeks ago. So let's add 2 more years. So that's like 32 years. I had kissed the same person and only slept with one person. Mm. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
So I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think monogamy is biological, human nature, or a sociologic construct?
See, I love you. This is why I love you. And I knew you would take my shit to the next level. This is the real question, okay, from my experience. These are the real questions. I 1,000% believe is social.
And here's my thought process. I agree with you on that but it's sociologic, but it's also human nature and biologic for women and not necessarily for men. And here's why I say that. Just think about it in a simplistic form. If you look at sex, and the reason for sex is to procreate, a woman can only procreate once a year. A man can procreate 10 times a day. And so if you look at just following human nature and biology, a woman has no choice, really, whereas a man does. And so a man to be monogamous has to be a choice, a sociologic choice, because human nature tells him, spread your seed and be fruitful and multiply. Whereas society tells a woman to be monogamous, but biology kind of demands that she has to be. Does that make sense?
It does make sense when you break it down.
If you're just looking at it from a procreation standpoint. Now you're looking at sex as a tool for pleasure, for enjoyment, for showing somebody affection, how I love them, all this stuff. Absolutely. Then you go into the weeds, of it being societal and sociologic, whether a woman, that's why you think about it. A woman sleeps with a bunch of dudes, it's a problem. A man sleeps with a bunch of women, it's celebrated. A woman doesn't want a man that's never been with anybody, but a man absolutely wants a woman with a lower body count. It's just the nature of it. You know,
and that part is tremendously like unfair when it comes down to even the sociological idea of, you know, it's okay for men, but it's not okay for women, because I think men have a harder time accepting it than the women do. Like, a dude cannot get with his babe cheating.
no.
They just can't take it.
I mean, think about what's said. You ask a man, when a woman asks a man about cheating, what does she say? Do you love her?
Mm-hmm.
When a man asks his woman about infidelity, the first thing he asks is, did you sleep with him?
Mm-hmm.
Two different things. He's not asking if you love the guy. He's asking, did you have sex with him?
Never
A
thought
woman
of that.
doesn't ask,
Right.
did you sleep with her? A woman asks, do you love her? Because
And
in their
why
mind,
is he asking that?
huh?
Why is he asking that?
Because we
them-
are visual, animalistic creatures, and the last thing we want to picture, you saw The Best Man. The last thing we want to see,
His whole
thought process
went
was
right back to her
was-
with him, knowing
was
what he
Tay
did.
Diggs smashing his wife,
Especially
even
because
before
of-
he knew her.
Especially because it was written.
This is why man law is such a big thing. Men in general won't share the same woman if they liked her. Like, if I introduced Coach to somebody and say, you know what, Tina was my girl, or I was digging her and we break up, she's off limits for everybody in the squad.
Right.
Because the thing is, no man wants his boy looking at him like, you know, I used to smash that, right?
Right.
It's an ego thing. It's a male ego thing that this is my territory. It's that pissing on a tree.
And the funny thing about that is, you go flip it, women do not share with what's going on with their man at all. Or
they
a dude
shouldn't.
that they shouldn't. Be like, oh, is that what he's doing?
So, Tina, I'll tell you, and the difference is that if I see Coach with his wife and I see how she treats him and think, you know, she treats him like a king, I, as a man, will say, damn, I want to find me a woman like that.
Right.
A woman sees me, a woman who's with me and sees how her girlfriend see how I treat her.
Right.
The difference is she's like, I want him, not a man like him. I want
him. Yes.
That's the difference.
That is definitely the problem in the woman community. I believe 1,000%. I think, man, I never thought about it like that. But you're absolutely right. And it is like the chicks are like, I want him. And you guys are like, I want a chick like that.
Or I want a chick to treat me like that.
Women are so scandalous and fucked up. I've never really thought about that.
But here's the
That's
other
exactly what the problem is.
Here's the other thing too. Here's
But
why.
I'm gonna take your man. I want your man.
Yep.
No, bitch, go get your own man. Go
They don't-
find one.
They don't
love
want
you.
Why do you think
Oh my
married
God, I can't
men
take it.
are so attractive to single women?
Because they're taken. Period.
That's not why. Number one, women want a man that other women want. Number one. Number two, they see this man and they're like, oh, he has the ability to commit, provide, do all of those things. I don't want a man like him. I want that dude.
Yeah, because he's proven.
Yes.
He's proven.
Yes.
He's taken. He's proven. I mean, it's almost like you don't want to go out and nobody wants to go buy the first version of, you know, a new car maker's car. You know what I'm saying? You
Yep.
want some shit
want a
that's
track
out there
record.
on the road. Right. You want a track record. You want a track record. And if you have like a window into that relationship in any way, and then you get to see how they move, then you really do get the tripping, especially if you're on the outskirts. And then that's when it gets complicated, because it's like, you know, I might have one girl removed as a friend, and she's like, she'll tell me, yeah, your girl better not slip up.
Oh, for
What?
sure.
What did you just say? Like, your girl better not slip up. Like,
You're like, what?
it's true. I must say, it's a little true.
I've been out with women who I've dated who bring their girlfriends out. And prime example is at dinner with this woman, her and her girlfriend. I told you this story before. Somebody we both know. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting at the dinner table. They're on either sides, and I'm in the middle. The girlfriend, I had just met her that night, and she's already like at the dinner table saying, girl, I don't know how you got this guy. He's got tattoos. He's this, he's that. That's not even your type. And this is her girlfriend. It's real. But what I was going to say earlier about the difference between men and women and the double standard, take a look. Think about it this way. Sex for women is very easy. They control the keys to sex. Any woman any day can walk outside and sleep with a dude. Right? For a man, it's not the same. So when a man goes out and sleeps with a woman, it's because he had to have something desirable for that woman. He had to come with something. He couldn't just walk up and be like, hey, let's go home. That shit doesn't work unless he's paying for it. Whereas a woman, all she has to do is put herself in a position and a dude is going to say, I want to smash. Or if she walked up and said, hey, I think you're cute, let's go. 9 times out of 10, that dude's gonna be like, all right, no strings attached, let's go.
Okay, so, I was trying to see where you were getting with this. You mean like we call the shots on how quick something could easily pop off by just...
Right. You hold the key.
If you put it this way, put your morals aside, right? You could walk out to a party tonight and take somebody home.
For sure.
I go to a party tonight. It's highly unlikely, morals aside, I'm probably not taking nobody home.
Yeah, you're going to have to be in pursuit.
I have to pursue, and she's got to be decide that she wants to and all that. A dude is going to want to just because you're cute.
Right.
And so when you take a guy who is into really, like, he's very beguiling to women, women take notice. Hence why you walk into a spot with a woman on your arm who's attractive, looks like she has her shit together. Every woman in that room is taking notice. And it's not, oh, that guy's the shit. It's how the hell did he get her? Now I want him because I want to know how he got her. I want to know what that is.
What was his pursuit? What did he do? Or what is
and there goes the arm candy, branding that women can often get,
Correct.
It's like,
I mean, my biggest wing person was my sister-in-law.
You said what?
My sister-in-law was my biggest wingman. I'd be like,
right.
I'd be like, Dina, go get her. I mean, I remember being in Vegas and she's like, I'm like, she's cute. She's like, I'll be right back.
That is Dina too.
Yeah, that easy.
So in essence though, like, and going back to what I was originally saying, like now that I'm like almost 55, right? And the idea of me starting over, like just dating with newness, like I've been in the same thing for like 30 something years, and now I have to honestly admit I'm a little jealous. I'm jealous of his infidelities.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't get to be hot and fiery like I was in my 20s, 30s. I don't even fucking remember the 40s, so forget it.
So what you have to do, I'll tell you.
So I kind of feel a little jealous, and I was like, damn, should people even get, I'm not even lying. I was, because, am I letting life happen? Am I making life happen? I was all out in the backyard, honestly thinking of all of this, saying to myself, damn, did I play myself? By being so moral, by going along with these sociological things, or did I really ever believe in that? Should I actually be upset? Although his shit was outrageously egregious, know the deal. It wasn't just some simple like, oh, one night stand, blah, blah, blah. But, I really was like, damn, maybe we should really rethink relationships and choices and stages and, what all that would even look like just from that point. And I don't just mean by being carnal or like primal, with sexuality, but, yeah.
It's basically Tina, dating with intention, but just change your intention.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also is you have to set your own rules, your own standards, what you feel that you need, and live in that space versus what societal is telling you. Because society is going to tell you, oh, you're 55 and you should be blah, blah, blah. You should do this. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I don't really care going forward.
I believe that.
I have no rules or regulations.
I believe that.
I don't have any rules or regulations moving forward.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, honestly, too, just from a healing perspective and just from a perspective of saying, like what I always do truly believe in what you guys share, which is it's just fucking for men. It is so not anything else. Mm. And so why do we put ourselves through, the carnage of, divorce and infidelity and the hurt and the pain and all of that when it really is just that? I mean, how do you remove yourself from these sociological, what's the word we used the other day, now when I was talking about the 4 agreements, these sociological agreements, where we say, okay, this is what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, blah, blah, blah. And then you come to realize that maybe it just is going against true nature and true growth and experience. It's not that you want to be with somebody else. I mean, I do think you have to know who you are, and you can't be confusing, and it can't just be physical in that sense or whatever. But when I hear different stories, and then I have my own story, and I hear other people and whatever, and they're sharing, and the dudes, it's not like they're too torn up about what they did. They just feel bad about how it made their partner feel.
Well,
but like it was never like this major like regret just from the action standpoint, but it was just from the, well, I guess honestly what we said we weren't going to do and how we said we were going to be, and if they hadn't got caught, they would have just pushed on. It would have been fine, and nobody would have ever known.
So here's a question for you. Let's look at loyalty, right? Mm-hmm. Men stick. A man will think to himself, I'm taking care of my wife. I'm taking care of my kids. I'm handling the house. I'm doing everything I should as a husband. My loyalty is there because I put my dick in somebody else. That was purely pleasure. I'm still here. A man won't leave his wife or his girl for another woman who he's just sleeping with, some random. And what usually happens is the woman, because he's cheated and the infidelity, blah, 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 whatever it may be, when she's had enough, she will leave, and then he may get with that girl. But he's never going to leave his wife just for that girl.
I agree. Most of the time, I agree with that. What do you say about that?
99% of the time. He's not going to leave for that reason alone.
But the woman, like, I'm loyal 1,000%. And it's really 2 reasons. For me, specifically. It is because if I don't want to be with you like that no more, then I'm going to go. So then there won't be no question about who else I might want to be with or how else that might go. That's the first thing. But Two, I have an ego. I don't want no dude being able to hold something over my head or over my husband's head. Like, yeah, I fucked your wife, or I was with her, or, I don't like secrets like that. You're not going to roll up on me about how I am, who I am. I'm not that. I'm not the thief. I'm not, a cheater. I'm not none of those things. And that is the ego side of me. It's not like I couldn't be, but it's just because I refuse to be fucked up. But at the end of the day, I do feel like, like a little remorse that I'm in my 50s and I'm now trying to like start anew. I really do feel some kind of way about that. And I never wanted to mention that or to even accept that might be a truth in one of the flaws of marriage for decades. Now that it's facing me, I'm kind of like, I could have been a little primal myself, or... You want
to know how you get past that? Stop thinking about what you should have done or what you could have done, because you can't change that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I always say this. There's a reason why the front windshield is so big and the rearview mirror is very small, because we're meant to experience the world.
I was going to say the same thing.
From straight ahead. Seriously, you gotta stop thinking about what you should have done.
You have to go back. You don't.
Stop looking back. Healing is moving forward. I don't keep peeling the scab off a wound just so I can watch it continue to heal. I let that shit scar.
When you peel that scab, it heals faster.
No, it doesn't. I'm a doctor, damn it. I know it.
Is that a medical thing?
That's a life thing.
I'm a scab healer.
She said, is that a medical thing? Yeah, no.
It also leaves a shittier scar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was talking to somebody last night and I was like, you don't ever heal from your traumas. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Somebody tried to tell me you don't heal from your traumas. I was like, no, you do heal, but it forms a scar. That scar is always there.
It's a reminder, but
it does heal. The scar heals over. And until you let that scar heal and stop picking off the scab, and the only way you stop picking off the scab is stop looking back there. Let me heal by looking back. No, that's not how this works. You heal by moving past it.
Yeah, and I'll admit that I feel very vulnerable about still, like, sleeping with a different guy, a new guy, like being naked in front of a person that doesn't know me.
Just rip off that Band-Aid, girl.
I mean, I do. I'm serious. Like, it's crazy. Like, you just never think about this shit being like a problem or a thought or like an issue or, you spend all these years with someone who knows you fully, head to toe, left to right, up to down, no matter what you go through. And now you have to start new. And then the game has changed. Oh my God. Let's even talk about the dating, where we are. That's a whole nother podcast that I could do a one-woman show on that shit, I could. Because if I see one more dude with a necklace outside his turtleneck that gets on. One time I went to a club, I was like, everybody in this club is on my profile. Like, I was like, what is happening? The dude with all the Beijing, Beijing his whole shit. I was like, and with the hat. The beards and the bond of cigar. I was like, I can't do the motorcycles. I can't take it, y'all. I can't take it. And then I'm scared, like, I ain't gonna like nobody. I'm never gonna sleep with nobody. Like, when am I gonna like somebody?
You will.
Shit. It's hard out here on the pimp.
Oh. Shit. You're right, though. It is not easy to jump back in that game because it's almost like you forget how to do it.
Right. And you worry, like, if I say this, is he gonna think that, or does he know that I don't like this, or I know you didn't put your finger. You know what I'm saying?
And y'all,
hey man, hey dude, watch yourself.
hey, and y'all are always in your head anyway.
Oh my God, please. And that's what, and you know how long it takes us to get out of our head? Jesus.
Never.
But when you're younger though,
Never.
when you're younger, you're a lot freer. I feel like when you're younger, you're a lot freer. Like college was college. College was beautiful, man. Sex in college was the fucking best. There was no inhibitions. There was no nothings. It was just.
It's good to be young and dumb.
Yep.
And right.
We were all there.
And now I feel like I'm 55 with all these.
Because you got life experience behind you. And so you're like, I know the consequences now.
Yeah. I know a few tricks too. I mean,
yeah.
I'm saying, like, I'm scared to try them on anybody.
Right, because of the consequences. You have somebody outside your house in the daytime looking at you with a flashlight.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, this is what has been going through my head. Just as because people always say the first question they ask me is like, okay, oh Tina, because they say even besides like the dating apps, which I just can't do, I honestly shut down every profile I had. I was like, just no. But the experts say you're supposed to tell your warm market, right? Your closest friends, hey, I'm thinking about dating. Let me know if you know somebody. Let me know if you have somebody you can hook me up with, or, because you want to actually be connected to somebody to be connected to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't want to be too far removed. And so when you start to, kind of share like, all right, because they don't know, they don't want to push it. They don't know what your grieving period looks like. I mean, people look at you crazy, I guess, if you get back out there too fast or not or whatever.
Somebody else's.
And so, you just kind of want to say like, all right, I'm ready to date. And the first thing they ask you is, would you get married again? Hell no.
Yeah, always pushing the envelope. Yeah, you just have to be, biggest thing is you just have to be available.
Well,
are you available now?
Again. Why would I get married again?
Well, not even marriage. I'm just talking about available to see someone,
Yeah.
If you look at most relationships now, even with the internet and with dating apps and all that, they still say the number one driver of people actually being in relationships and them working are those that were introduced by friends and family. Mm-hmm. Because how you're trying to vet people by swiping left and right, your friends and family have swiped for you.
Right.
Because they know you, they know them, and they're like, all right, these two, it's like a matchmaking service, but not with strangers.
Absolutely.
And that's how it works.
My friends would be like, hey, dog, don't fool with Tina. Don't do it. You ain't ready. Because they know, I am 1,000 for real. So it's like, they'll be like, hey, dude, you don't think about it. Because you don't have your shit together. Mm-hmm. And they would be 1,000% right, And so you do want to have someone that can, like you said, swipe for you. And they do offer that online. Like on Facebook dating, you can give someone a certain code and your friends can do the swiping for you. I was like...
But you just don't want to be swiping. You want people to have vetted them.
I ain't swiping no more.
So it's friends and family and then familiarity with people you work around.
Yeah, coworkers.
Those are the two. And then you got online and all that. Not for number of dates, but for starting relationships.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
And the toughest part about, at least for me, it has to be chemistry. So I have to be in your presence, honestly. The online thing, I told you later the other day, I was like, I actually met up with one cat that when this motherfucker just started walking towards me, I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, God damn. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. It's going to be a comedy show right there in the cafe.
Dude didn't stand a chance from the minute he walked in the door.
Oh, just straight up. And so I was like, yeah, no. And so I'm counseling, which is why I didn't even, join past, I was like, what's the minimum I can join? 3 months, because
90-day trial.
I don't want access any longer. But like Coach said, I wanted to be available. And I said, well, Tina, go out, don't prejudge, be available as best you can, be open as best you can. And yeah, I'm clear.
So
I'm crystal.
Before we wrap this up, I got one question for you. If you had to sort of give some advice to your generation and the prior generation of women. So let's say women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. What would you tell women in their 20s to do? Like, give me one piece of advice for them on how to navigate life.
Completely focus on yourself. Don't even get caught up. Don't even be thinking about shacking up, settling down, getting in too deep. Because I feel like the generations now are tremendously delayed in their learning and their experiences and their common sense. So you can't just get married like I did at 24.
Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot at 24. Like, we need to skip straight to the 30s. And so
what would you tell women in their 30s?
So I would tell women in their 30s to start off like you would have in your, mid to early to mid 20s. I would say now this is where you, begin to take seriously who you might want to be with. And now you have more of a maturity of who you are. And you should have some type of autonomy and independence and, something that you're bringing to the table. And then you could be able to establish that because you do need to measure it. You can't just let anybody be half of your shit. And you can't just let anybody be that lifetime commitment of a kid.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to take care of this kid. And so we're seeing now that that you're not getting a chance to become more accomplished and financially stable in your 20s. So you got to do that shit in the 30s to honestly make it doable, because the reason why most marriages go wrong is because of money. That's the first thing that hits people hard.
I'm going to push back on that.
Okay, what'd you say?
Money and infidelity aren't the number one reasons why people get divorced. It's uncommunicated expectations.
Oh, I can believe that. About that money and that.
but still, it's
the root. It's the root of everything. People have money issues. They have communication issues. If they have sex issues, they have communication issues. If they have religion, if they have whatever it is, it always comes back to communication. They are not having conversations. We think we talk the way we did in the early phases of our marriage or dating and courting, but 10 years down the line, we're different. We have to continue to expand on our communication and have better understanding.
I'll tell you this. I think this is why this podcast is my favorite, because I think that is the thing that you guys bring home the most. Trying to get women to understand the male communication, the male thinking, which is completely different from what we think, what we interpret, what we even know. And we tend to, like Leonard always says, I'm not trying to give you too much credit, so fuck you, but I'm just going to give it to you anyway.
Thank you.
We don't listen. We don't.
You hear, but you don't listen all the time.
We don't. And that is a problem. And so it is because it will say, you're not talking, and you're like, you're not listening either. So it does go a lot. It does go that way. So I will say that, the communication usurps everything. Like, it's the full over the top. But I would still tell that chick the same shit. But right. You're right. Like, communication is the key. Let's just take that through
everything,
a lifetime.
And so what would you tell men who are trying to gain the favor or date a woman 40 plus? What advice would you give a man who's now coming to a woman who's experienced life, who has done what she's done and is now beyond bullshit? What advice would you give men? One thing that's, you know what? This is how you need to come correct. We got you here.
I would probably just, I would just say, pay attention to her. She just wants to be loved. She doesn't need you to do all this shit, take care of her and fix that and fix this. She just really wants to be loved in the way that she expresses. And she usually will show it to you in that same manner. Women always do what we want done back. It's not like hard to figure out.
That's bullshit.
If you're paying attention to her, you notice, the little kisses. She loves the little kisses. She loves the out of the blue, rub on her butt. She loves that. Like, she loves for you to pay attention to her, give her love, spend time with her, do all the small things that matter. She doesn't need you to do all these outrageous big things because she can do them herself. Although, don't think we don't want to do them. We'll do them if we have to. We are prepared. We are curated
reality TV
to do those
Here
things.
We go. Here the reality TV hands. Snatching it out the air.
Snatch it down.
But I hear what you're saying.
Is it ever enough?
Huh?
Is it ever enough? Because most men will tell you at times we feel like the more we do, the more you want. And it ends up never being enough.
That's the problem with that chick, though. That's not every chick. We see y'all. At least I do.
But you don't tell us.
Sometimes when I listen to y'all, I be wondering who y'all fucking with. I do. I ain't gonna lie. I be like, who are these bros? They go.
I am going to give that a little push. I do think that men have to start taking a better stance. I do think that men have to start taking a better stance within the respects of like, okay, I'm going to give you all this, but you're now wanting more because I didn't give. Wait a minute. That ain't true. You better back up. Sit down. I got you, but you wanting too much now. Relax. I got you. You know what I mean?
It happens a lot,
yeah.
T.
They can sometimes, like you said, when is there enough? But a lot of times we'll keep feeding into it's not enough versus taking a stance that, wait, I'm giving you a lot. I ain't got much more.
You never kiss me, so you only kiss me once a week. Okay, so I'm kissing you now every other day. And that's fine because it was once a week. Now it's 3 days a week. After a while, you come to me and say, you don't kiss me enough. And I'm like, well, do you remember I was kissing you once a week? Now it's 3 days a week.
Are you kissing her because
I want to. Not because you want me to.
She had to tell you and then you up it.
My point is it's never enough. Doing it when I want to is never enough for you. I have to do it because you want it when you want it. And I don't know you want it until you tell me you want it. Because you guys are the most terrible communicators on the planet. Because you think we understand the way you guys understand. You want us to be a man that thinks like a woman.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, every chick wants as many kisses as she can ever fucking get. So, like, y'all limited kissing asses has got to change.
Well, you are taking it literally with just kisses. I'm talking about with shit in general.
Okay, but wait. No, I'm just using that. What if can she over kiss you? Because this is my gig. I'm not going to just wait for you to come kiss me. I'm going to come kiss you too. So am I over kissing you?
It doesn't matter because if it's not reciprocated when you want it, it's not enough. And that's
No,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't
not-
matter.
that's
It's
not what I'm saying.
No, but you can't kiss me. You can kiss me. You can kiss me too much. Sometimes I'll be like, look, back up. I got shit to do. You know?
What?
Don't
She
treat
not trying
me.
to kiss you.
Don't treat me like you want to be treated. That's different. I'm not your girlfriend. I don't need the same things y'all need. I'm your dude. I'm okay. What I really need is for you just to leave me the hell alone sometimes.
That's why he's single.
That's why I'm smart.
That is why he is single.
He's single.
But you see this right here? Happy little motherfucker.
All right, Dr. Dre.
You go think about that kissing thing the next time you go out with Scooby-Doo and her girlfriend.
but the thing is that, again.
Wait, come on,
It's
Lane.
hearing-
You haven't. Okay, have you ever dated one girl and then dated another chick and thought to yourself like, "Oh, this chick does make me," and I'm just using kissing as an example, but like because everybody's different. Like men, y'all just dating and it's okay. For me, it can't just be that. I mean, we talked about this. I told you this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just can't date without intention and connection and chemistry and all of that. You know, I just can't. And so
The woman makes us want to do more, but she has to just let us do more when we want to do more, instead of trying to pressure us to do more and saying by discounting, downplaying what we already do. Because if we're doing for you, in our minds, that may be all I can do in this moment. Mm-hmm. When I'm ready to do more or have the bandwidth to do more, I will, because our goal is to do as much as we can to make sure you stay happy, not to make you happy, but to make sure you get happy.
Definitions in there, right? I mean, when I talk about the kisses thing, I mean, it's just sweet. Like for me, every day is a special day. I don't really care about holidays. So if you kissed me out of the ordinary versus the traditional, what I don't like is obligatory shit. That's where you will lose me.
So how about we get from just past you and we talk about women in general?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Because you're a unicorn.
So that's the big
But anyway,
difference.
we'll get to that. But that's just something I want you to think about, because it is a lot of times you'll hear dudes say it's never enough. We love doing it, but we tend to feel like no matter how much we do, it's never truly appreciated as much as it was when we first started doing it.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge when I do.
Right. When I do some good shit for you,
taking away when I don't.
Acknowledge. But don't say,
you don't do this anymore.
I took out the garbage and cleaned the house, did all this stuff, and then you come back and say, well, you didn't do this. And it's like,
okay, so then let's go to the communication thing right there. If we really want to clean this up and clear this up, because, and I told you, the dude I've been gifting with and texted this, if this motherfucker send me one more gift, I'm going to jump out the window. I was like, when does this become a form of communication? Like, what? Who are we? Anyway.
We're adults.
Yeah. So, but he did say to me, you know, Tina, when I'm at work and he has a busy day, he's like you y'all doing what y'all doing, right?
Yeah.
Coach, you and Jim, you coach people. You can't be stop, dropping, and rolling, right? so he was like, you seem to think that I'm not thinking about you when I haven't reached out to you. And that's not the truth. And so when he said that, now I am going to take people at their word. What I don't do is try to figure out if you lying or not. That will come to light. I always tell people, don't say what you mean and mean what you say. And if you say it, I'm going to believe it. And if you bullshitting, then it's going to come to pass now. But what I'm not going to do is waste any energy on figuring that out. I'm going to take you at your word. So the minute you tell me, hey, I sent you a quick gift or a GIF, whatever that shit is called. I sent you the quick whatever. And that was my way of saying, I'm thinking about you without the extras that I'm looking for, right? Because my way of communication is settling for me. You know, it's enough for me. It's my expectation. But when he said that, I was like, okay, I can dig that. But it was him offering that tidbit information like, hey, babe, if I ain't kissed you in 3 days, it's not because I don't want to kiss you. Like,
right.
Why? Yeah, and I think that has to be said sometimes.
It's like we always said, we'll wrap this up, but it's all about communication. Tina?
Yes.
Always a pleasure.
Y'all got somebody for me out in LA? I'm coming.
Come on, girl. Come on.
In the listening audience, find me somebody. I like to play tennis.
I like my friends. You ain't trying to chew my friends up and spit them out.
Right.
I just tell people you got to come correct. But Tina, always a pleasure. I want to have you back on again, Coach and I, we got many things that we want to talk with you about. So this is just, scratching the surface. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna try to have a better. I'll probably be in Portugal, so I'll try to set my stuff up beautifully.
You see how she just kind of tossed that in? I'll be in Portugal.
Yeah, I know. I caught that.
I mean,
her bougie ass. I'll be in Portugal.
I already told you.
I caught that.
I'm taller than half the population, so that just puts a total knife in my whole plan of trying to come up.
So talk to that camera, I guess. You guys out there, you will hear more from Tina. Tina Taylor Brown is always a force to be reckoned with. I'm going to try to convince her to get this one-man show done.
Yeah.
She needs to get back on her game of performing and stand-up and all of that because she's phenomenal.
I'm going to do it.
She is phenomenal. And as always, thank you guys for being here. Coach KJ, where are they going to find you, man?
They're going to find me at Coach KJ Knows and CoachKJ.com.
And you're going to find me at Leonel Hunt on IG and huntspine.com. Go also check out the huntfoundation.org and at Hunt Foundation on IG.
So you're going to find me in these streets. Trying to come up.
Also
check out SOE_podcast in IG and then podcastsoe.com for everything Coach and Doc.
Check out our shorts on
favorite is
YouTube.
Spotify. I got y'all on Spotify. Spotify is my favorite.
Fine.
YouTube, come check us out, y'all. We're everywhere. And with that, T, Coach, we out.
Hey, cheers, y'all. Love y'all.